I'm Mike Sullivan, and today, or tonight I should say, I would like to talk about your club face. And what I'd like to show you is how an open club face really encourages a golfer to make an inefficient swing and makes it really difficult for them to enjoy the game. Whereas if a golfer can just get their club face square or even a little bit closed, that golfer will be incentivized to make a better swing, they'll hit better shots, and they will enjoy the game of golf a lot more. Okay, so talking about the club face, and we've talked about this before, but I think there's always another way to say it and another way to really convince you to pay attention to it. So we're shooting this video in March. Tonight, or 2 o'clock in the morning, for us here in the US, we're going to spring forward. We're going to turn our clocks forward, so daylight savings time is coming on, so it's pretty exciting for everybody. Everyone's excited about golf, but boy, it's no fun when you're not hitting it good. So let's talk about something that's very, very simple, but that can really help you get a handle on your ball striking and get a handle on your golf game, and it's the club face angle. So first off, when we strike the ball, our club face should be square to our target line. That's going to get our ball to go straight toward the target line. And I'm saying square towards, I mean roughly, it could be a little bit off. I don't want to make it too complicated. But what should that club face look like as we take the club back? All right. So one of the problems people get into is when they make a backswing, they get kind of active with their hands, and the club ends up with a toe pointing up in the sky like this, and the club head kind of back behind me. I'd like to have it right here, more parallel to my target line. Okay, and you'll notice how I made this move here, getting more parallel to my target line. I turned my shoulders. If I don't turn my shoulders and I just use my hands, then what happens is the club gets stuck back behind me. It really can be very much of a totally different move to keep your club face square than to let it open, okay? So when I say square, I'm talking about really square relative to the plane or the arc we're swinging on. Another way to look at it, it's set up. See, right now that club face is pretty much matching up with my spine tilt. As I move my spine around, the club face kind of wants to change and stay relatively the same angle. So, an open club face in golf. This is not a good golf setup, is it? Unless the ball's way up here above my feet, like in a tree. But if my ball was way up here, and I just turned my shoulders back to hit it, my club face would be right about here. See how the toe is straight up in the air? The club face is matching up with my spine. Well, when you hit a golf shot, we're bent from the hips more back in here, and you can see my club face has tilted a little bit with me. So a square club face is going to be pointing to some degree down towards the ground. There's definitely some room for preference. What we don't want, or I would highly recommend it, is really getting that toe going up this way so the face is at the sky or even up to here. We don't want to be in that area, okay? Because when we get that club open and we just turn through and hit our shot, the ball is going to go off to the right. Okay, and what will happen with that club face position is, there's Cookie, what will happen with that club face position is, not only could I hit that ball to the right, but also what happens as far as the momentum of the club is the hosel of the club kind of leads that club head, and it's really easy to catch the hosel and hit a shank, and we don't like that shot either at all. Okay, so here's what we want to do. We want to be about here. One thing you can feel, if you like to be this way, try to feel like the knuckles on your left hand or your lead hand are pointed more towards the ground. Okay, so as I get my knuckles pointed towards the ground, in order for me to hit the ball straight, I'm incentivized to turn my hips through the shot, turn my shoulders to be able to hit the ball, maintaining the angle of my torso. And that can help me hit a nice straight shot. If I let that club face get closed somehow by hanging back this way, or by stopping my rotation, letting my hands go through, so if I'm here and I just kind of flip out of my hands, the ball is going to shoot off to the left. Okay, so by playing the game with a square to close club face, what I'm doing is I'm incentivizing a swing where I'm going to be able to move my weight forward, get my lead hip here over my lead heel, and be able to just rotate right through and get that club moving, and the club face can be square that way. If I make that same move with an open club face, so if I have my club face here and I make that same move, I'm gonna really try to do it here, right? That ball is gonna fade off to the right at least a little bit. That actually wasn't too bad considering how open the club face was. Okay, so first thing to help us have the club face be square or shut is our grip. Make sure that on your lead hand, when you grip that club, you get some amount of rotation of the palm a little bit more on top of that grip, so that that V here between my thumb and my forefinger, when the club face is square down below now, the club face has to be square. I'm going to back up here. When that club face is square, that V's got to point at my back shoulder. That makes it a lot easier for me to have the club face be square in the backswing. All right. If I grip that club, and not only the backswing, throughout the swing, if I grip the club in a more intuitive manner like this, boy, it is really, really easy to get that thing open coming back, and then it's hard to square it up coming through. In order to square up that club coming through when the club face is open, or if we have this weaker left hand grip, it's going to encourage a move where we stop rotating, maybe even move weight back a little bit and kind of flip at it. So I'm going to go ahead and try something. I'm going to try to make this system work here, this V1 system. Looks like it's all hooked up. All right, let's see if we can make this thing work. Our pressure mat, it works great, but of course Murphy's Law, when I'm by myself, something can go wrong. Let's try this. Okay. I'm going to double check one more thing. Make sure it's recording. Okay, it is. All right. All right, here we go. So this is going to be a weak grip, an open club face. And I'm going to try to hit the ball square, straight. How am I going to do this open? So that was definitely, I exaggerated a little bit, but hopefully you saw the way that my weight moved kind of back here onto my back foot, right? And we don't want that. That's hard to be athletic that way. So now I'm going to do my little drill. Here's a drill I want you to do. Club face, grip a little stronger. My right hand, my palm just matches up with where the club is going. The trail hand, right? Let's get back here. Here's the idea. Get those, I'm going to exaggerate. I'm going to get those knuckles a little more towards the ground, and I want to feel that I'm going to have this feeling of my lower body moving forward and my hip coming behind my lead heel as I hit this shot. This should go straight or left for sure. Just like that. A little bit left. And I think, hopefully, if the pressure mat was working correctly, if it's not, then you're going to be confused as to why I'm not showing you another screen. But if the pressure mat is working correctly, you would have seen that weight moving at some point into this lead heel over back in here. Okay? That's the pressure that I'm putting into the ground, into that heel as I rotate through that shot. Okay? Let me show you one more time. You know, so many people that come out that have been playing golf for a long time that are not having a lot of fun, you know, the first thing is their club face is just wide open all the time. And they're making all these compensations to try to square it. Like, I'm just talking about hanging back and flipping it through. Another thing that's common is as you hang back, people get that club coming from outside the target line, they swing the club left, because if the club goes far enough left, their open club face points at the target. And there's some sense, I guess we have, that that's going to square it up, but boy, it makes it tough to get better. So, you know, when you're trying to get better in golf and you're really trying to get a handle on your game, start with that club face. Make sure that that club face is square. Make sure you can swing the club face square to the arc. So if the path does go left, the ball should go way left. Hope that makes some sense, okay? One more time. Strong left hand. Gonna be up in here, right there. And like this rotation going through. Bam. Just like that. There we go. All right. Again, it's a drill. That's not the way that I really hit all my shots, but I really want to have that club face be in a position so it's square relative to the arc I'm swinging on, or a little closed, because it incentivizes me making a better, more efficient golf swing, and I'm going to get better results. I hope that helps, and I'll see you next time.